My cat is here, you guys. This is Zeno after the baseball pitcher from the A's and the Giants. This never happens. I'm really excited that he's here. Hey guys, I'm Ashley, and today is another edition of Sparky Loves Books. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be doing a top 5 video. This is Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday is a Goodreads group, and previously I had been posting these Top 5 Wednesday posts on my book blog, which I will leave a link to down below. Today I decided to do a video instead since I'm trying to get back into the swing of things and back into making videos more often. And today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is characters you used to love but don't anymore. And this is going to be in ascending order. So the first one I'm going to show you is number 5, and the last one I'm going to show you is number 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Oh, and I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below in the description box. So number 5 on this list is Zoe Redbird from the House of Night series. I started reading this series back, I think, in like 2005. I blew through like the first 6 books, and then I just lost steam because there's so many of them. I think that there's 12 altogether, and I just stopped caring. Honestly, after a while, it was like, ugh, just get to the point already. Stop having things happen. So I used to love Zoe Redbird. She was one of my favorite fictional characters. This was when I was just starting to read a lot of young adult literature. I was about 17 or so. There was a lot less to read then than there is now. This is about 10 years ago, so I really was into her then because she was strong, she was interesting, she was a lead character, she led everybody else in the group, and I thought that was awesome. She was a cool heroine. But now I'm just kind of over her. While she's alright, she's pretty cool and she is strong, I just don't find her that interesting anymore. I don't think she has that many layers, actually. And like I said, I'm just over her. I think that I'm just a lot older now, and I just am a different person now than I was when I was first reading her books. Number 4 is not a book character, but it's Amy Pond from Doctor Who. When I first was watching the Doctor Who series for the first time about 4 years ago, maybe 5, I loved Amy Pond and I was just completely enamored with her. But every time since that first watch, every time I've rewatched it, I've become less enamored with her and really find her more like of an invasive person and a really aggressive person, and I think she tries to think that she is a Time Lord or the Doctor when she's not, and it really bothers me because she just goes into any situation super headstrong and like pushing buttons that she shouldn't push, and just the way she treats Rory a lot of times. I know it's supposed to be funny the way she treats Rory, but honestly it really just kind of bothers me because Rory is such a nice guy and she shouldn't be treating him like that. And so I just became less and less enamored with her, and I know that being a strong, you know, headstrong character is a good thing, especially for females. It's great to have those kinds of characters. I feel like we already had that with River Song, and that was really irritating, and Amy was headstrong in a way that was detrimental, and I don't like that. So looking back on it now, I don't find Amy Pond's character to be actually that interesting in my honest opinion. Number 3 is Stefan Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries. I have read the first 2 Vampire Diaries novels. Didn't care for them, honestly. I liked the TV show better, and when I first was watching the TV show, which I watched before I read the books, I was totally in love with Stefan, and the first like half, maybe 3/4 of the first season, I was totally a Stefan and Elena fan. I was a Stelena shipper. I was all about that life, and then they started developing Damon's character more, and you know, Catherine started treating Damon wrong, and then there was Damon and Elena, and I am so much more a fan of that now. Like, that is such a more interesting relationship with Damon and Elena because it's not boring. It has more to it, and Damon is so funny. Like, oh, I just love Damon so much. Damon and Elena are like one of my top favorite couples on television, and I'm dying because it's not happening right now on the show. Like, I'm not even bothering with the show right now because they're not a thing, which is horrible for a fan. I know, I don't care. My eventual love of Damon led to my lack of love in Stefan, and now I just find Stefan completely boring, and I don't care about what happens to him, honestly. He's a fine dude. I know that most of the time he's pretty nice and good, but I just don't care. I find him boring, so sorry, Stefan. Number 2 is Edward Cullen. When I first read Twilight, I was like so into Bella and Edward. You know, I was like 16 and I was obsessed with them. I couldn't wait for the next book to come out, and I was just like, oh my god, it's all about Edward. And then every single time I would read the books after that, I'd be way less into Edward and like so much more of a Jacob fan. Edward just is like a douche, honestly, in my opinion. I can't stand him. I find him controlling and irritating and not an attractive character at all. Yeah, I roll my eyes over Edward Cullen. No. Why would you ever be interested in Edward Cullen when you have Jacob Black? I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I was a stupid 16-year-old who was just enamored with Edward Cullen. That's really embarrassing. I'm really embarrassed about my 16-year-old self. And number 1 is Snape from Harry Potter. I used to love Snape. I thought his story arc was so sweet and endearing and really interesting. Spoilers for Harry Potter ahead, so if you don't want any Harry Potter spoilers, just fast forward till when you see me put this book down. I find Snape so irritating now. I think the fact that he held a grudge with Harry for all of those years because he was in love with Lily is so awful. He was horrible to Harry. Harry never did anything wrong. How dare he judge Harry based on the man that James was? Like, he treated him so bad. It's awful. He was so mean to Lily, too, back when he was in high school, and was so mad at her for not liking him, and that's wrong. Like, that's not a lesson we should teach our boys. If a girl does not like you, she doesn't like you. Like, she's not into you. Just leave it alone. Just let her go, move on. She has every right to her feelings, and Snape is awful for that, and just no, he was just obsessive and mean and not good. His story arc is not redeeming, and when I first read it, I thought it was like so emotional. It made me cry. I got all teary-eyed. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe he felt this way that whole time. How sweet. What a great dude. And now I'm like, dude, Harry, you named your son after him? Like, you put Severus's name in your kid's name, and just why? He's not a good guy. Anyway, that's how I feel about that. So I used to love him. I used to be like, this is a great character, and now I can't stand him. Like, anytime I think about it, I'm just like, oh god, no, you're such a creep. So sorry. And that's it. Those are the top 5 characters I used to love but don't anymore. Leave me a comment below and let me know one character that you used to love and you don't anymore. I'd be really interested in hearing about that, and I will see you guys next time with a new video. Happy reading!